Sorry. Okay. So the rubber springs is not like about like a lot of strength in the movement, right? So you're gonna stand in your Pilates, feet, heels together, toes apart.
How far back?
That's what I mean. Like you'll figure out like where you want to stand.
Okay.
So long arms, palms face back. You probably want to go back a little bit. And your straight arms from the upper arms, pull back towards your sides and forward. Make sure you're holding with the palm of your hand so you feel the whole muscle of your arm working more. Where if it's just in the fingers, you get more like jointy.
Yeah.
And then thinking of the upper arm moving back to your trunk, not so much like how far back can my hands go. And you'll feel a difference in how your back muscles engage when you just focus on the upper arm bone moving back. Okay. Watch that your butt doesn't squeeze as you go back. Did you feel that?
Yes, I'm trying. It's very insistent
It has
on
its own
squeezing.
thing.
It's my shoulders. They're very insistent on doing this all the time.
So now, with those arms pulling back, you're going to add your heels to rise up. So as you pull, lift, control as you release. As you pull, lift, control as you release. One lady in my 9:30 class who was her first time in my class, she's done privates and stuff like that with other people. She says, my butt is always really tight. And we're doing bridging. So is this good for, I'm like, no, there's just too much for me to answer on that one. It's like, that's like a whole hour worth of discussion right now.
I don't know you well enough.
I know, like we're not going into that. On this next one, you're going to keep your heels lifted and just move the arms back and release. Back and release. Good.
I'll be so happy when my stuff is over.
I'm
So
sure.
Monday there were 2 people there. Yesterday there was 1. Today there are 6.
That's fun. And release. Now, palms rotate up. This one you may step a little bit closer because the closer is going to be less resistance. You'll figure it out pretty quickly. The hardest part is not hinging forward too much. So you want to use that resistance, arms reach out. You're going to do like a plie squat with a bicep curl. Plie squat with a bicep curl. Beautiful. Oh. Plie squat with a bicep curl. Good. So this is that point where the tail points straight down as you go down. And it's not like you're trying to go down super big because our goal is to keep the shoulders back with the hips. Nice. Welcome to chair. Been a while.
Like, how old is my child? 15 years, maybe?
Like a whole different animal.
I'm thinking like around Christmas we did chair.
Did
There
some
was-
chair, yeah.
Maybe that was the last
Yeah,
time.
you've done some with like Linda when we
Yeah.
had a smaller class. Yeah. That's too. That's the nice thing about this class is that it can be smaller so that you can do some of the other things.
Yeah.
Good. So now we're gonna add those together. So you're gonna pull straight back, lift the heels, lower plie with a bicep curl. Pull straight back, lift the heels, lower with a bicep curl. Good.
I'm gonna start making faces at me.
Well, it was either this or going on the core line, so trust me, you wouldn't
Oh, I
want
like
to.
that.
What is the
We were doing
The
that with
core line.
Carly when Lewis was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like skiing and doing Pilates at the same time.
Ooh. I've never done that. Maybe it's not skiing so much, but
It was kind
It's
of.
hard, yeah.
Yeah.
That's too.
Ooh.
Ah!
sometimes I get really excited about the last one. Ooze.
And rest. Good job. So separate your feet as wide as the frame of the chair. So like your heels line up with the edges and your toes turn out to 1 and 10. Perfect. So with this one, it's a grand plie. So your knees kind of turn out to the corners, and at the same time you grand plie squat, press straight back with the arms. And again, moving from the upper arms as you go back. Did you see her tell Wynn to move over from the mirror the other day?
I wasn't here.
We weren't here for that.
Oh, yes,
You were. You were right there.
Right here.
It's okay, maybe. I was like,
What's it?
so everybody hates being in front of the mirror. And then the
No one wants to
client,
look at this.
right.
No, I never go
So
there.
this client literally came up to the one that was on this reformer. We were standing in the alleyways, and she goes, "Can you move over so that I can see myself?" Everybody's like, "You want to watch yourself? Like, why do you want to watch yourself?"
Was this the new one or somebody who's been? I have an idea or two who it might be. I won't say. I don't even know the person's name, so I couldn't say.
Well, she goes to the Tuesday, Thursday, so I don't know if you know her.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
and I don't.
Last one. Good. Nice. So that's
Right here.
so yeah. Think of like
That's been
how
something
your
wrong.
hand is pulling, right? So obviously thumb more pressures and be more in the front, pinky more pressures in the back, but also still only pull like back with the upper arm.
Oh wow, pinky
Oh.
changes the whole thing.
Yeah, pinky totally changes the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So now, grand plie with bicep curl. Feeling a theme here.
Sorry, Mimi.
Good. Thinking of that tail drawing straight down. Good.
How come? I wonder why people don't come to this class.
I don't know. It's weird. It's always been this way ever since I've had it. The Monday
More
lunch
so in the
class
summer?
is really bad in the summer, so I deleted a lot in the summer. Last one.
Now
So
we're gonna
now, when you do straight legs releve with upper arm pulling back, lower into your grand plie with a bicep curl. Straight legs releve, arms pull back, grand plie with a bicep curl. It's always been kind of slow because remember it was always you, Linda, and Jeff.
Yeah,
And so I knew I always had you
At
three
least the
on
three, yeah.
Wednesdays. Like Jeff's been kind of back and forth, Mimi's husband, and
Oh,
he hasn't really been here much this summer at all.
I saw him
A couple
a week
weeks
or two
ago, yeah. So and then Linda's been back and forth with her mom. Her mom broke her hip, so last one to put the bicep curl. Good job. Nice. Ta-da. Okay, so you'll put the little handles back in their little wedgies. Good. And so your spring, we have little trees back there, little cactus arms, okay? So you want it on the third one. So we're going from the bottom up. You want it, the spring on the third cactus arm.
I think I already.
Yeah, you are. So go up one more.
Ooh.
Yeah, so this one. So you can see it's numbered too.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Okay, so then stand in front of your chair, and you're gonna be your foot distance back. So put your foot pretty close to the front, step back to that foot distance. Perfect. And we're gonna start in Pilates V again. Inhale those arms up to the sky. Think of diving into a swimming pool so your arms stay by your ears as you hollow the spine forward and hands go onto the pedal. So now stay here, don't push into the pedal. Shift your weight over your arms a little bit more. Beautiful. Now dive down into the pedal, flexing from the ribs, folding forward.
Little hamstring.
And then rounding as you release that. Flex and dive down into the springs. Round and release. Exhale, press. And resist as you lift. Exhale, press. And resist as you lift. Two more. And then last one, hold your pedal down, staying down low with the pedal, try not to let the pedal move. Lift your heels, feel that lift all the way up into your thighs, not just your calves. Lower the heels. Lift the heels all the way up into those thighs. Lower. Lift and lower. Two more. Up and down. Last one. Up and down. Control as you roll all the way back up to standing. Good. Inhaling those arms up at the top, grabbing one wrist, side flex, pull and stretch up and over to one side. Side flex, pull and stretch up and over to the other side. Good. Go parallel with your feet. And the same thing. Arms reach up. And like you're diving dive down into the springs. With parallel feet, flex and press forward and round and resist back up. Diving your head through the arms, curl forward and roll and release. Exhale. One more, dive down, hold it here. So think of a tricep push-ups. Your elbows stay close to your body as you bend. Exhale, press. Triceps, bend. Exhale, press. 3 more. Exhale, 2. Exhale, last one. Press and hold. Curl the pedal back to the bumper, round, round, round. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, dive and press back down into the pedal. Hold it here. Turn your fingers slightly toward each other. And this is a wide elbow press. Bend, exhale, press. Bend, exhale, press. 3, 2, last one. Hold your arms long, take a deep breath in, and curl all the way back up to standing. Good. Let's take our right toes, ball of foot onto the pedal. So to see if you're standing in the right spot, don't push your pedal down yet. So as you're standing here, we have a tendency of like gripping the hips, right? So the pelvis kind of tucks a little bit unknowingly. So kind of stick your booty out and maybe soften into that left hip and knee. Now before you press into the pedal, see if you can lift your foot off of the pedal and still have balance. That way you know that you're in the right spot. Good. Toes go back down onto the pedal. Lift your heel high. Focus on your thigh, not your foot, and press. Good. And resist it back up. Press from your hip and release. So your hand is pretty close to your hip crease. So right where your fingers are at that flex part of your hip, think of I'm releasing that hip crease and flexing back into it. Release that hip crease and flex back into it. Trying to keep your weight back over the heel of your standing leg. We're going to perturb the mind and the body. So arms come down by your side. Pedal lifts back up. As your pedal presses, stretch your arms up and release both. As your pedal presses, stretch and release both. Nice. Shoulders, ribs, and hips are square. Three more. 2. Nice job. One last time. Press and reach those arms to the sky. Hold your pedal all the way down to the floor. Keep your pedal down on the floor. Lift that heel on the pedal. Shift your weight into the pedal as your left heel lifts and lowers. Left heel lifts and lowers. Exhale. Nice. 2 more. Last one. Carefully release. Good job. Shake it out. Good. Unfortunately, you have another side. But this side might be easier. There's that.
Or it might not be.
That might not be. You never know. So remember to make sure you're in the right spot. So float that foot off of the pedal. Make sure you can balance. If not, move forward or back a little bit. Hips are square. Heel is lifted high on that pedal. And drive from the hip crease. Open the hip crease. And release, flex. Open the hip crease. And release, flex. So in your mind, you want to think of pushing from your fast, your butt thigh, the back of the hip and thigh. Try not to push with your hip flexor, not with your toes. Good. keep your heel lifted. So 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms down by your side, pedal back up at the top. As you press into the pedal, reach with those arms and release. Press and reach and release. Good. For 3, 2 more. Hold it down on this one. Arms reach up to the sky. Keep your heel lifted on the pedal and shift your weight forward into the pedal. The standing heel lifts and lowers. Standing heel lifts and lowers. Exhale, reaching towards the top of the wall and the ceiling. Good. Find those obliques wrapping around your midsection. And 1. Carefully release your pedal. Nice job. Woo. Good. Okay. That was fun. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys little knee pads. And you're going to set yourself up so that you're kneeling on the knee pad, hands on the pedal with the pedal down, and you're in a perfect quadruped position. So you'll adjust like where that knee pad will be for your body, width, length, whatever. So the pedal is all the way down and adjust as needed. Shoulders stacked with ribs, hips and knees are stacked. First, with your pedal grounded, do a few cat and cows. Lift the heart, the tail open, round the head, the tail curl. Good. So let's stay in this rounded, angry cat back. So you're focusing back at your thighs or your belly button without shifting your weight back or your hips back toward your heels. Think of a balloon floating you up and the pedal floats up. Float, float, float. Good. Right about there. And then dive back down. Good. Float, float, float. And the ribs fold deeper as you press. Nice. Breathe. Exhale. Press. One more time. Float the pedal. Press the pedal back down and hold. Tuck your toes under behind you. Lift your hips up into downward facing dog, keeping your pedal grounded. Feel your chest reaching back towards your thighs for a lovely stretch. From here, you can pedal out your dog, bending one leg and the other, feeling that calf stretch, Achilles stretch, all the way up into those hamstrings. Good. Reaching both heels towards the mat, feel that stretch. Control as both knees come back down onto your pad. Untuck your toes behind you, and as you start to sit back into a child's pose, you're going to carefully start to release the arms and the pedal up. Let the chest drop down through those arms. Feel that lovely stretch through the underarms, maybe mid, upper back. Good. We're going to go into angry cat. So as we start to curl our body up, depress the pedal down. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back. Downward dog. Stretch. Deep breath in here. Exhale, knees to the floor. Untuck the toes, hips back towards the heels. Reach the arms upward towards the sky. Breathe into the underarms, chest, and shoulders. Exhale, curl into angry cat. Dive down into the pedal. One more time, tuck the toes under, lift those hips up and back behind you. Breathe in. Exhale, drop the knees down, untuck those toes. Child's pose, hips to heels. Feel that stretch, deep breath in. Exhale, curl through the spine, press the pedal down. Good. Now, you're gonna stay here in this position. Keep your right hand on. Take your left arm and wrap it around your rib cage. So it's as though you're hugging yourself, and square those shoulders. So keep rounding into that angry cat position. Perfect. Not a very big range of motion. We're letting the pedal pull up away from the floor with a long arm, and you're lifting into your abdominals. Then press with your abdominals. Lift with the upper body more. Up, 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 up. Yes. And then dive down. Curl and flex. So you should feel a little bit more activation in one side of your oblique. There you go. 2 more. Good. Last one. Press. Bring the left hand back down. Yeah. And the right arm comes around the belly. Round into the back. Curl up, up, up. Depress down. Curl up, up, up. Depress down. Good. Try to relax your glutes as you do this as well. So you're just moving from the rib cage. 3. And press. 2. Nice job. Press. One last time. Press it down. Both hands on the pedal. Tuck your toes under. Lift your hips into downward dog. Very good. Feel that stretch. Start to walk your feet forward towards your pedal. You won't go all the way up onto the pedal. We want about a foot distance back. Beautiful. And then roll the spine to standing, one bone at a time, all the way up. Nice job. Do a little good morning stretch. So lift the arms up to the sky, soften the knees, and lift your heart up and back behind you. Nice. Good. Okay, so I'm gonna have you guys step back. I'm gonna pull this away from the wall. Good. We're staying on the same spring tension, which is like the coolest part about some of the chair stuff is that you don't have to change your springs as much. So you're gonna kneel facing the pedal. So you're on the back side of the chair, face the pedal.
I'll kneel under.
Yep. And so you want to make a fist with your hand and draw it in front of your knee. And that's so that you know you're like in the right position, not too close to the edge. Perfect. So from here you can go parallel with your feet. I try really hard to maintain a parallel, especially if you have a tendency of over gripping those butt bones. Yeah, I know.
What would that be?
That was a hard one though. So draw your hands down on the pedal. So kind of give yourself this vision of the number 2. So you're rounded in your spine, right? And you kind of vision your body in that number 2 shape. So our shins, when they start to flutter kick up and down, it's your body's way of fighting between the hips and the belly, like who's taking over. So try really hard to depress into the mat with your shins. As you fold flat over your thighs and depress down into the pedal, feeling your belly fold over your thighs. Don't let your hips move, just your belly. And then curl your belly away from your thighs. Keep your shins heavy. Fold belly over the thighs. Like touch your belly to your thighs. Yeah. Good. Shins heavy. Curl back up to the bumper. For 3, diving down. Lovely lower back stretch. And round. 2, dive. And curl. Good. Last one. Hold your belly over your thighs. Feel as you're here this widening of your butt bone. So you feel this lovely lower back stretch. Bend your elbows wide. Exhale from the ribs and arms, press. Bend from ribs and arms, press. So as those arms are extending, feel those ribs narrowing in. Exhale, press. 2 more. Exhale, press. Last one, hold those arms long and then roll back up all the way to a high kneeling position. Nice job. It's challenging, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lot harder than
But
it
that's one of the
seems.
times, like when the belly's there, you can actually feel your ribs
Yeah,
engage,
yeah,
which you
exactly.
don't. I don't. That's because all my fat is. Too.
Well, and like we're
There's
very,
that.
That's my
we-
me here.
we can get very restricted in the breathing here too. Like there's lots of people who have very flared ribs that can't get that narrow. I used to be that person. My nickname was Four Tits.
Oh,
I'm not
that's
kidding
that's
you.
hysterical.
Not kidding.
Nice. Very nice.
Four Tits.
Kids are so nice.
So like the narrowing of my ribs has been a thing to work on for a really long time. But now I feel like I got this like bump. Now I got like 2 barrels.
Okay. Is that gymnastics?
My ribs?
I
Why?
mean, when you were younger.
No, it's ballet. Yeah, yeah. So inhale, your arms reach up. We're turning to the right side of the room with just the ribs. So keep your hips forward. Good. And then you're going to dive down until your hands touch down into that pedal. Yep.
Both hands?
Yep, both hands on the pedal. So make sure you're on the black part of the pedal. You got it. And then all fingers over, so your little thumbs are over too. Yeah, good. So this is the same thing as we were doing before. So your hips are forward, but your trunk is off to the right. Flat back, dive down into your thigh. And then curl back up. Flat back lengthens over the thigh. Flex into the ribs and round. So you may feel a deeper connection on one side of your belly. Keep your hips forward. Keep your shins heavy. One more time, press down and hold. Take that right hand and rotate it open towards the ceiling. You can keep your gaze down or up. And it's a flat back to lift, lift, lift the pedal and press. Lift and press. Feel that come between the rib cage and the hips. So those obliques are lifting you. Obliques are pressing you. One more time. Obliques are lifting you. Obliques are pressing and hold it here. Lower the right hand down. And then curl the spine all the way back up to a high kneeling position. Good job. Did you feel one side more than the other? Oblique wise?
Right. I mean,
Not that maybe the other one will wake up.
Hmm.
I have one side that never tells me what's going on, so
I
maybe
mean, I
you're
have
the
one
same
side,
way.
I think someone's cut it out while I was sleeping. Someone just came
One
and cut
doesn't
this whole
exist.
part out of my body.
It's just like, this is just there.
It should be skinnier. on
I
the
should be
side.
like this.
Yeah, it should be way smaller on the side than it is.
So inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. We're ribs rotating to the left this time. Dive all the way down, hands on the black part of the pedal. Square your hips forward and dive down. And then curl your way back up. Dive down and flex away from the thigh. Do you feel more on this side?
This is that side where I have the latte muscle and the
So
psoas thing, so it's like I can do it better,
yeah.
but I don't know if it's gonna hurt me, tomorrow. I can't ever tell.
Press down and hold.
This part's gonna hurt.
Left arm rotates open. Either look up or down, whatever feels better for you. Flat back. Lift, lift, lift. Left oblique press. Lift, lift, lift. Find the right side. Press. For 3. And press. For 2. And press. One last time. Float. Lower it down and hold. Lower the left arm down. Take a deep breath in. Curl all the way back up. Good job. Nice. So we're going to get into the glutes. We're going to say where we are. Are your knees okay? Everybody good? Okay. So this one you have an option with. If your hands are on the pedal, obviously it's a lot more like stability challenge working. So you have that option. Or you can slide your knees back just a wee bit and put your hands on the actual upper mat part. So
Are we
either of the
taking
two.
legs and arms off? or
Just
we
one
doing,
leg.
like, pointy
Just one
things?
Just one leg.
Okay, we'll
Your
see.
hands will stay on.
Okay.
You can always change your mind too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll start here.
Yeah. So the hard part, as you can tell, is just keeping your pedal up at its top
Oh, it's up
position.
at the top.
Yeah. So then that right leg, yeah, you can slide your knees back if you need. Your right leg is gonna go straight back and touch down onto the chair. So the hard part with this is just that you're keeping your hips square. So we're lifting the thigh up, and tapping it back to the frame. Down, lift, and tap. There we go. So think of your leg like a pendulum, right? So we don't want the back to shift or change. We don't want the hips to shift or change. So we're just moving that thigh in. There we go. Last two. Hold it up on one. Sweep it out to the right side. Tap the edge of the frame. Lift it up and back. Out to the side, tap. Lift it up and back.
Not me.
Keep it lifted at hip level as you go back. Good. Two more. Hold it out to the right side on one. Good. Flex through the foot, lift straight out to the side, tap the frame. Straight out to the side, tap the frame. Exhale. Exhale. Two more. Last one. And step down. You can step down on the floor. Good. You're gonna do a little figure 4 stretch on that. So draw your right shin across the chair for a pigeon stretch. You got it. Hoppity hop left leg back if you have that room and flexibility. So you can draw your leg on top of the chair.
Oh, on
Mark.
top.
Yep. I'm gonna grab my wire. I left it in the other room.
Yeah, well, I was trying to do it here, but it was like,
Oh, no, there's
Okay.
no way.
yeah.
Melanie, I can't even do like that, airplane, all that. I can't do
Yeah.
it on the box. I can do it on the floor, but it's like mentally
Yeah, because if you could do it on the floor, I would think it would
it,
be
right.
easier. on
More
It's
the
a,
stable.
it's a mental thing though.
Yeah.
It's like I feel,
Alright, step on down.
oh, look at that face. Can't wait for the next one, even though I missed that one. I can't wait to see the new bear.
I get to see him on Friday.
Wait, his name's gonna be Bear?
Mm-hmm.
Like Susie Bear. He's probably related to me somehow.
So climb back on, hands on the pedal or the mat. Make sure your knees have enough room. So that left leg goes straight back down towards the frame. Good. And lift it up to hip level, back down to the frame. Lifting up to hip level, back down to the frame. Good. That's it. Try not to shift so much over here. So you want to go.
Not resist. Oh, okay. Right back
Remind me
there.
to thank Amy Kane for this.
Hold it up on one. Sweep it out to the left side. Tap the frame. Lift it all the way up and back. So don't drop it down. Keep it lifted when you're pulling it back. And then you tap it down when you go out to the side. But keep it lifted as you go back. Good. Out to the side. Tap. Lift as you go back. Good.
I don't think I did that before.
4, 3, last 2. On the last one, stay out to the side, lift from the side, tap the frame, lift and tap the frame. Exhale, 3. Exhale. Find those obliques, that long flat back. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Step on down. Draw your shin across the mat for pigeon. Good. There you go. You're like roaming around like you're lost.
The tall lady's just
I
wondering.
didn't want to scare her and open the door behind her. I'm trying to sneak in and get
Yeah,
set
get
up.
your stuff set up.
Yeah. I'm gonna go this way so she knows I'm.
I'm a little cardio workout.
So I was saying the same thing. I'm like, why is my heart beating so fast?
Alright, so you're gonna sit on the chair facing the computer. Both legs over the front edge there. Perfect. And you want side back, so your thighs are for the most part fully supported. So the biggest thing with this is keeping your butt bones grounded. So it's not about like going all the way over and like feeling your hip kind of pulling away. So I always kind of vision the difference of a parenthesis versus a C curve. Make sense? Where like a parenthesis is big and long, where a C curve is more compressed and small. Okay? So that's your left arm, that's your right. Right arm to the sky. Left hand is either in line with the crack or slightly forward from the crack of the pedal. Keep your booty bones heavy as we lengthen out and over, depressing down into the pedal. Now connect with that right side body as we grow up tall. Good. Lengthen up and depress down into the pedal. And grow tall. Good. 3. Take you back a little bit. There you go. 2. Making sure you're over your booty bones instead of your pubic bone. 1 more time. Up and over. And rise back up. Perfect. Straighten your legs out in front of you. Right ankle over left ankle. So you have to engage those quads to keep the hips lifted. We're going to do the same exact move we just did. They stay up. And lengthen up and over. Good. Go that oblique a little bit more.
Yeah.
Lengthen up and over. It does still work, Susu. It still works. It's still there. 3. Good.
Whew.
2. 1 last time.
So she just sit on.
Touch it when she's sitting, when she's straight.
And lift all the way up. So take that
all
right
day.
leg out to the right side. So your right butt may come off so that your foot can get down on the floor. Perfect. Let your left leg go. And we want that right leg in line with the hip, right? And so those toes are forward, and we feel this through the hip here. Okay. This one you're going to be able to go both directions, and you're going to go a lot bigger. So left hand on the pedal, right arm up, side flex, up and over. Not too far. There you go. Rise all the way up, go to the right side of the room, side flex, up and over.
Yeah.
Side flex to the left, press heavy into that right foot as you reach to the left. Rise up, reach to the left side, right side of the room. I get confused with my right and left, sorry. 2 more. Good, 1 last time each side. Press, press, press. And up and over last time to the right side. This is my favorite. I love this series.
Oh.
So you're going to bend your left leg onto the mat. And you may kind of adjust as your hip feels comfortable. Your right leg will end up floating. Don't kick it up. Just let it be heavy, okay? We're going to rotate both of the hands onto the pedal. And so you'll kind of get a little bit more into that left hip instead of right on your butt. Do you feel that difference there? Yeah. And then you're folding and pressing down. Keep that right leg heavy, 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 heavy. Good. Don't let your right leg come up, Margot. Keep it heavy. There you go. Now curl away from that left thigh, pulling up the pedal. Dive down over your thigh. Round. Back up. 3 more. Dive. And round. Good. 2. Dive. And round. 1 last time. Dive down. Rounding up. Good. This one, we're going into a side plank. So what you're going to end up doing, scoot your hips down just a little bit towards the wall. And then you're going to end up straightening both legs out to the wall. And that left hand, maybe in the middle in line with your shoulder. Perfect. And press the pedal all the way to the floor. And then just readjust yourself as needed. So Margo, get your bottom leg under you more because you're staggered with your legs. You want you to be stacked with your legs. Put your pedal all the way to the floor so you can adjust easier. Go better?
Yeah.
So you're thinking of shoulders stacked, ribs stacked, hips stacked. Vision envision that you're vice between two panes of glass. The more we flex through the feet and reach as though we're standing, you feel how much more stable you feel in the lower half, right?
Yeah.
So you can leave this top hand on the mat just for some security. You can do hand to hip or arm to the sky, whatever you feel comfortable with, right? You can kind of gauge yourself where you are.
What I'm not comfortable with is where my left hand was. I need it to be more
Yeah,
in the
more
middle.
under your middle. Yeah,
Yeah.
more in the middle of the mat.
Okay.
Okay. Not a huge range of motion. So it's not like you're bringing your pedal all the way up. Okay, we're finding that right oblique. Float the pedal. Left oblique presses it down. Right rib to hip. And then lengthen that right side body. Good. Exhale up. And press. 2 more. Up. And press. 1 more time. Lift. And press. Good job. Carefully come all the way up. Ah, that was just your little challenge.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
There's
it
a
was
lot
like
more
of-
that you can add on with little leg lifts and all that other stuff.
Hands
but
can flow, you
yeah,
can
all
fly.
that
That was
stuff,
like
yeah.
brain, too much
Like
brain.
side teasers and all the fun
Yeah.
stuff.
Side teaser.
Side teasers, yeah.
Long time since I did that.
Face that way. Both legs over the front.
I have no memory of what we did.
That's
Yeah,
why
I'm
you
thinking
paid
the
me.
same
I
thing.
know. It's like, it never happened.
That's why you paid me.
Seriously. That's how bad my memory is.
So the left arm lifts to the sky. Right hand's either in line with the cracker, slightly forward from it. Big parenthesis, lengthening the body up and over, pressing into that pedal. Keep that hip heavy, don't go so far. Rise all the way back up to a tall spine. Good. Side flex. Up and over. And lift. Good. Think of your booty bones being heavy into the mat as you reach and round.
Those are so short.
2 more. I know, mine are too. 1 last time. Press. Good. And release it back up. The legs straighten. Left ankle over right. Keep legs straight. Same move. Side flex. Good. And lift.
Ooh.
Harder. Sometimes it feels like a stomach cramp, right? It's like, oh yeah, it's working. Last 2. 1 last time, reaching up and over and back to a tall spine. That left leg goes straight off to the side. Plant your foot so the booty kind of slides off the edge. Toes are forward and the leg is in line with the hips. This one we go both directions. So left arm to the sky, right hand on the pedal. We lengthen over, try to keep that left foot really, really, really heavy so you get that deeper side body stretch. Now connect with the left side and go to the left side, up and over. Tall to the right. Press heavy into that left foot. Feel like an elephant sitting on your foot. Rise all the way up and over. 3. Feel like you're creating space between your thigh and your pelvis, between your rib and your hip. 2. Reach, reach, reach. Good. 1 last time each side. Press. Good. Rise up. Last time to the left side. Beautiful. Right leg bends on top of the mat. Adjust your hip as you put both hands on the pedal and you end up more onto the side of that right hip. Left leg stays heavy. We dive down into the pedal. Press. Keep your head heavy as you round away from your thigh. Press over the thigh. Feel that stretch through that whole lower back and waistline. For 3. Good. Press. For 2. Nice. Dive down and press. And release. Good. That was their spot, right?
Yeah.
So this is where we go
Just
into
to
that
follow me around all day
side
long.
plank. Lengthening both of the legs out long. Maybe scoot your hips down a little bit on the mat. Make sure your hand is in
Yeah,
line with
you
the
know,
crack.
you could just stand up and set yourself back for a plank, it's much
Yeah,
easier.
much easier. Push all the way down on the pedal. There you go. Now lengthen both of those legs all the way out. Flex through those feet. Find your side body and lift the pedal and lower. Think of that left rib to hip and then lengthen out that waistline. Left rib to hip and lengthen out that waistline. 3, keep flexing through the feet. Stay strong in those inner thighs. 2, good. 1 last time, lift, woo, lower, good job, carefully come on up. Nice, ladies. Okay,
Stars.
so one more adjustment. I'm gonna slide the chair all the way back by the wall where it was before. And we're gonna put these mats in front of the chair.
I mean,
Yeah, they are. I've been moving furniture.
So then roll your mat out in front of your chair. Good. You do, yeah, whatever side is there. And so your feet will be on the chair, so your head is away from the chair.
like this on the pole.
So we're on the, okay.
Feet are on the pedal. And upper body's down.
Okay.
Good.
Like,
So keep your pedal up. Yep. So this first part, I want your feet like right at this base edge here, right? So if you push into your feet, you can feel the pedal move. So we don't want that to happen. We want to keep the pedal right where it is. Scoot back just a little bit. Good. There we go. Okay. So we're trying not to let the pedal move. Our arches are here. We're gonna roll into bridge without moving the pedal. Beautiful. Inhaling at the top, melt, upper back, middle back, lower back, tailbone. 4 more like that. Hips lift without moving the pedal. And lower, upper back, middle back, lower back, tailbone. That make you hot?
No, the other stuff did.
oh, it's so much nicer today than yesterday.
I haven't been
Tomorrow's
outside
gonna be
yet.
awful.
It is, smells me bad.
Like 100, they're saying.
How does that happen? It's
That's
so
like
nice
for a
this
couple
morning.
It's
days.
all
it's
over, it's
gonna be-
around the whole world. Stay lifted up at the top without moving your pedal. Lift one leg to tabletop. Lower and switch. Whoa. Keep your butt up a little bit more, Morgan. There you go. So you're really working through the upper mid-back muscles, the back of the arms. You should feel most of your shoulder blades still pressing into the mat, but driving your hips to the sky. Last one on the left side. Good. Lower down. Okay, this is not a very big range of motion. This is definitely connecting with our hamstrings. So my visual for you is the heel bone and your butt bone, right? Kind of vision taffy, right? Where it's kind of hard to pull it apart and together. So it's not a big range of motion. Okay, so it's like heel bone, butt bone, like taffy. Okay, lift the hips up. You'll understand once you get there.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be super fun.
So don't let your bottom drop. So keep lifting your bottom up as you push into the pedal and release. Push into the pedal, not forward, down.
Oh,
Push
oh.
into
It's
the
like, let's
pedal.
go. Oh,
Yeah.
got it.
3, push into the pedal. You got it. Good. 2, push into the pedal. 1 more time. Press. Release the pedal, roll your back all the way down. Hello. That was great. Good job. Okay. You're gonna press the pedal all the way to the floor. So your arches are on top of the black part of the pedal. And once you get there, oh, careful. You may adjust yourself back a little bit if you feel too tight to the frame. Good. The hardest part, as you can tell,
Keep it down.
is keeping the pedal down.
Yeah.
So also, before we even begin to move everything, I want us to be aware of the butt bones. So there's a difference between tension in the hips holding the pedal down and the hamstrings engaging and working to hold the pedal down. Do you feel that? Because when we go into bridge, we want our pelvis to completely relax back into the mat. So we want to be able to keep the pedal grounded and those hamstrings activated, but not the pelvis. Yeah, we feel that difference right now? Yeah. Alright, so press through the back of the arms and shoulders. Pedal stays grounded. Bridge those hips up. Inhaling at the top. Exhale, melt through the spine. As your tail lengthens out, keep those hamstrings on. Right. Oh.
I let go of them.
Hips up, one bone at a time. Inhaling at the top. Melt upper back, middle back, lower back, tailbone lengthens down. Oh. There we go. See, you can engage your hamstrings without activating your glutes. It is possible.
But not easy.
Not easy. It's possible, but it's not easy. I love how your feet are stressing out over it.
Yeah.
Now you're like,
over.
Do it, do it, do
Your
it.
toes are like. 2 more.
The minute I stop thinking about it.
Yeah. Good. On this last one, I want you to keep your hips lifted, and we're going back into that marching. So root down into one leg, lift the other to table, alternate back and forth. As you can tell, the hard part's not letting those hips rock from side to side. Keeping those hips up, finding the inner thigh, your hamstring, your glutes, and obliques are all working here. So much going on.
But I'm not gripping my butt, right?
Yay!
I mean, it is wanting to grip.
It's working. It's just not
trying so hard to grip.
excessively working. Last time on each side. Lower your feet, lower your hips all the way down. Carefully let your pedal come all the way up. Let your Achilles rest over the top of the pedal. Okay. I personally, when I do this, like Pilates B. And I like Pilates B because I'm trying to activate that small back inner hamstring. It's very close to the inner thighs, but it's still a part of the hamstrings. Are we feeling that visual line from our butt bone down, that back inner thigh, okay? So it doesn't mean we're gripping our butt. Because if we grip our butt, it's gonna force us back down, okay? We're going into a teaser. So what I want you to vision, not that you're pushing down into this pedal, but you wanna keep constant into the pedal so that you're not gonna activate your hip flexors. You don't have to go all the way up. It's your body. Do what you can do, right? That's why they call it a teaser. Inhale, the arms reach. Exhale, heavy tail, heavy tail, heavy tail, heavy tail,
I can't
heavy
keep my feet
tail.
all the way.
As much as
I
you can.
can't bring this
No.
down. No.
Mm-mm. And then
Nope, it's not happening.
It's okay.
I'm so
It's
sore
okay.
from Monday's day.
You're okay. Every teaser is different. Some days they work and some days they don't.
It's hard not to move your feet though. I must usually.
Yeah, I
like,
wanna-
You can scoot back a
I
little.
I
think
must.
that's
I
what
think
I
I
do.
usually just do something with my feet though. Like my feet are really wanting to go like this.
That's hip
Yeah.
flexors. That's
Yeah.
why. Yeah. So that depressing down, there it is, and that was less butt for you too.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
That
no
was so
butt.
much better. Yeah. Depress down. That was so much easier. Seven.
How many do you want us to do?
One more.
Oh, Jesus.
This is fine. Up. Lower all the way down. Grab your right leg straight up to the sky. Flex and point. Circle the ankle.
That was fun. We haven't done. I haven't done any of that stuff in
Long time.
like
Reverse your
literally
circles.
forever. Maybe I should get a chair at home.
Figure 4 stretch. Ankle over thigh, bending your left leg in, grab underneath or the shin, whichever you want. The shin is going to be a little bit deeper of a stretch.
Let's see if it's wrong this way.
And switch sides. The right leg, left leg straight up to the sky, right leg over your chair. Flex and point a few times.
Just that fast, we forgot.
Circle the ankle around. reverse of circles.
I better go for a walk today then.
Make sure we walk like a model. Figure 4. Long strides opens the hips more.
I think I do take long strides actually.
Long strides. And like just think of
But I
that
think I hurt my butt.
same feeling. Yeah. So I notice I do too, especially when I'm walking around the city on flat. I mean, we're good with our cities, somewhat hilly, don't realize it, right?
Right.
But when I walk on flat, I'm like, fuck, my back hurts. Because when I was in the Vatican City, I was like, oh my god, what is happening to my hips right now? They were grumpy, super grumpy. And like I would full forward, I'm like, oh my back. Like it just didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Walk up to seated, do a little butterfly stretch, soles of your feet together, knees wide. But if you get that topographic change, it allows your hips to have that more freedom in moving. And just think of like when you're walking, like how can I let go of
Eyes
all
and like
this?
constantly thinking about like spread your butt. I feel like I'm like in Wayne's World. Spread your butt. Stop, Denise, stop watching.